Hey everyone, okay, in today's video I'm going to be talking you through, giving you some examples on how to deal with one of the most depressing issues that can face a lot of women as they get older, the dreaded hooded eye that's been acquired through age. Now there are two types of hooded eyes, one that you're born with and one that is acquired as we get older. The one we'll be focusing on in this video is the one that's acquired as we get older. And the one I'll be referring to is the hooded eye that is either completely hooded, where there's no visible eyelid space whatsoever, or the partially hooded eye, where there is usually this outside corner to the middle is covered, leaving an exposed inner eyelid. I will also be talking about the ever so depressing aspect as well, which is where the eye becomes very hooded on this outside corner, that the skin hangs down past the eyelid, giving the illusion of a droopy eye. So first, let's talk about what a hooded eye isn't. So let me demonstrate, because in this video we are trying to get you to understand what your eye is. So we'll use mine as an example, which is a standard eye that is partially hooded, but not completely. And the skin here, while getting looser, is still tight enough that I can go into the crease, which I'll show you pretty much now. So what I'm going to do is just sweep a light eyeshadow all over the eyelid, and just for this demonstration I'm going to be using the white gold brush, my one, and this is the hooded eye brush, which is the number 7. So I'm just doing this to just clarify the eye, nothing fancy. I'm just going to dip this brush into a basic taupe brown color, and I'm just going to use a little stencil as a guideline. I'm going to place this into the outside corner of the eye, and then very gently, without moving the skin, I'm just going to define the crease of the eye. Now the reason I'm showing this is because this isn't the kind of hooded eye I'm talking about. If you can do this technique and the skin isn't flapping in the wind like a flag, just going everywhere, so you can see I've just defined the crease of the eye. It wasn't particularly difficult for me to do that, and you can see the definition there. That isn't always possible if you have a hooded eye that has been acquired through age. I'm just going to put a little foundation on this eyelid just to get rid of that eyeshadow. So if you've got a hooded eye that has a lot of skin movement, it is a very difficult and, as you can see in the comment section, depressing situation. The way to approach it is twofold. If the eyelid here is really loose and it's moving around when you're trying to define it, my theory is don't bother. It's too much trouble, because even if you use a stencil like I just did here, especially if you have a hooded eye with a lot of loose skin that hangs over, giving the illusion that the eye is drooping, even if you can define this outside corner and bring it in, when you let go, there will be that remaining part of the hooded eye that hangs down, and it can look disjointed. This is why I like to deal with hooded eyes in an honest manner. So the first one is we will deal with a hooded eye that is partially hooded, which means for this case that all this section of the eye is not visible. The only portion that's visible is halfway along the eyelid. And this is what I would do. I'd find an eyeshadow brush is what I'd do. How can I not have one? I have loads. Okay, so the first thing I would do is pick an eyeshadow that I like. Now, it can be any eyeshadow color in the whole wide world. It really doesn't matter. But generally, something light, especially on a partially hooded eye, looks best. So we're going to section the eye off. Remember, this part of the eye doesn't exist because this eyelid is not visible because of the hood. I would take the part of the eye that is visible and I would highlight only the visible part of the eyelid. So in this instance, it's this section here. Now, I understand this may not be what you were hoping for, but it's realistic because the amount of effort and time it takes to piss around with this area And remember, eyeshadow is only designed to make your eye stand out, not your eyeshadow stand out. So by just highlighting the portion of the lid that is completely visible, so in our case, there it is. The rest doesn't exist. Apply mascara, be on your way, be happy. It doesn't matter. If you want to, you could put a tiny bit of highlight on the tip of the brow bone. It's up to you. But don't be frightened about it. There is so much more to worry about in life than the fact that you've got a hooded eye. No one cares. The only person that cares is you. You have to just be realistic about it. It's not that you can't spend the time doing it, but when the skin moves with such velocity, when we get older, it becomes harder and harder and more time consuming. And every day, who's got the time for that? The next type of hooded eye is that one that is completely, and I mean completely hooded. There is no visible eyelid from lash line to inner corner. Nothing. It's completely gone. The way I would deal with that, you're not going to like this, is I would highlight the tear duct area here with a nice, bright, beautiful eyeshadow, whatever you want, doesn't matter. You can do green if you want. If you want to do green, do green. You want to do blue. I like nice, bright, light sort of highlight colors. That's it. That's all I would do. I would then put mascara on, put some fake lashes on, emphasize lashes, you know, any of that stuff. That's it. That's what I would do. Because it's simple, it's easy. You're not wasting your day fretting about something that really is so irrelevant. If you put mascara on and you've just got that inner corner of highlight, it will look great. Now, there is one other way to do hooded eyes. It requires a large eyeshadow brush and a little bit of faith. So let's start. Okay, so the final one is to cover the entire eyelid from lash line all the way up to brow in a light matte color. 1 or 2 shades lighter than your skin tone. So I will show you now. Now, some people will have to lift the lid in order to get rid of all the creases. You just sweep a light shadow. Don't go too light. You don't want to go white or anything like this, but just sweep the color from lash line to brow bone, even if you have to hoist your eye all the way up to get into all the nooks and crannies. And make sure that when you're doing this, you then blend it out at the edges so that there's no line of demarcation where the eyeshadow, the light starts and then stops. And I'll just add a little bit more just to this, because just for demonstration purposes, what you're trying to do is create light and space here. And then again, all over, inner corner, right the way up to the brow, and then blend the edges out so that there's no line of demarcation. When you've done that, remember you've got a very hooded eye, there's no visible eyelid space. It's pointless doing push liner because you're not going to see it, there's no eyelid space. Now all you do is put mascara on. Okay, so one really quick coat of mascara, not done particularly well. But now you see the contrast between the light that we've just done with this shadow. This bit here is all nice and light and bright, and the contrast between the dark lashes. Now, if you have a very hooded eye and you're putting mascara on, we all know it can go everywhere. This is the time where things like lashify or the lashes that go underneath the lash line and stick, these things are your best friend with a hooded eye because they can open up the eye. But just that light eyeshadow, nothing else. Just make sure that this end here is blended in. Just that light eyeshadow with the dark lash line makes your eyes stand out. But it has to be matte. I mean, it doesn't have to be, you can do what you want, but if you do lash line to brow bone with a metallic, you're gonna look mental, in my opinion. It will just show everything up. But by taking it matte, you could use a pressed powder, a loose powder, something light and bright. That contrast between light and dark looks epic. Your eye will still stand out. Everyone is happy, apart from you, because you've got a hooded eye. That's what I would do with hooded eyes. Either highlight any area of the eyelid that is available, make it light and bright, put mascara on. If there's nothing available, just highlight the tear duct, put mascara on, be happy. Or shadow from lash line to brow bone, matte, couple of shades lighter and brighter than your skin tone, mascara, you're good to go. No one cares about eyeshadow. I know you do. I don't care about eyeshadow. It's so irrelevant. Your cheeks, your lips, the highlight, the blush, the bronzer, the structure of your face, so much more important than a hooded eye. There you go. That's how to do hooded eyes as we get older. Thanks for watching. See you all soon. Bye-bye.